Hi there, Phillip Mahony here. Uh, I'm responding into a comment I seen just recently about what's the best thing to do when you're starting to play guitar. Now, obviously, a lot of people will tell you to start learning a few chords, a few basic chords, and that is true. But in order to get your strength of your fingers up initially, it's important to know how to finger the guitar. Now, I always think it's best to have the guitar, when you're starting off, at more of a 45-degree sort of angle going up. Now, the reason for this is, if you have the guitar flat out like that and you're reaching for chords like this, you're putting unnecessary strain on that part of your hand, and you're turning your hand around in a sort of fashion that makes it very hard to finger the guitar properly, and I'll get on to that now in a little while. Now, what I mean by fingering the guitar properly is, if you look down the bridge of your guitar, really what you want to be doing is coming down on the guitar as perpendicular as you can. You don't want to be coming down leaning and rubbing off other strings. So basically, if you're playing a chord, I'll just give you this view for a minute. You want your strings, the last digits of your finger, the last joints, to be coming down like that onto your guitar. Not like this kind of thing where it's kind of coming in at an angle, because if you do that, you'll just rub off other strings. So you want to come down nice and perpendicular with that last joint of your finger. So that's it. Now, I'm going to start with an E minor chord, which is the second finger is going on the second fret of the A string. That's the second string down from the top, is your A string. Now, as I say, you want to keep this, you don't want to have your hand like this, or like this. You want to kind of keep these knuckles out a little bit more in order for the finger to come straight down. Do you see the way it's coming straight down? It's not going like this or this or this. It's coming straight down onto the actual fret like that. Now, the E minor chord is the easiest to learn when you're starting, because it has that note there, which you're using your second and your third. You're using the two middle fingers there. The second takes the second fret of the A string, and the third just slots in behind it, just there. And if you could see that, sorry, there, just goes there, and then the second finger goes there, and you strum all 6 strings, and that's your E minor chord. Now, your E major chord, you'll just drop in your first finger onto the next string down, which is your G string, and that becomes a major. So you've got major and you've got minor. Slightly different sound, but people generally refer to it as the major being more of a bright kind of triumphant sort of sound or whatever, and the minor being a more kind of sadder key, and so that's the difference between your majors and minors. Now, in response to something that someone put up earlier, they're saying what's the best thing to start playing with. Now, I would say do your E minor and your E major first, then you would go on to your A chords. So your A chords being A major, A minor. Now, what I would do in that situation then is just randomly write out E minor, A major, A minor, E major. Just something, a random pattern. It doesn't have to be in any way, shape or form a song. You just write out the 4 chords you know, but write them out in a random fashion so you can get used to the changes between E minor to A major. But do it along with a metronome so that every 4 beats, and I have a metronome here, so every 4 beats, now that's on, I'll put it on 60 beats a minute. You might be able to hear that. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and so on and so on, you know. And I'm just picking them chords randomly. I'm not sticking to any particular pattern. But you want to play them 4 chords. Just get used to them: E minor, E major, A major, and A minor. And then once you get used to the major and the minors of them 2, then move on to D. Now these are all chords that are played down the nut of the guitar. D major would be, and D minor would be. Now the difference between the major and minor with D is you leave the third finger here on the actual note of D, and then the first goes there and the second goes there. That's when you're playing your major. Now when you're playing your minor, you move the second finger up to where the first finger was, and then the first finger goes down to the bottom string to get the minor. So you've got, and then you've got, so that's your major and then minor. Then, like you did with the last couple of chords, your A's and your E's, do it again. Write out a couple of these chords incorporating your D's now, your D majors and your D minors, and do it every 4 beats. When you're comfortable doing these chords and you're changing them every 4 beats, so you're counting, you're coming down with just a downstroke to begin with every 4 beats. When you're comfortable doing that, then get used to changing them quicker. So I'll bring back in the metronome here, right? So now we were doing it every 4 the last time, so this time try and do it on the 1 and on the 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4. Now that's just messing around with all them E's, A's and D's, both major and minor. When you get used to this and you're happy enough with all them, and you can change between your to whatever, you know, between all them 6 chords, then move on to your C. Now the reason I say move on to your C is that it's very like your A minor. The only difference between the A minor and the C major, now the C major is a relative major to A minor, which is something you'd kind of find out about further down the line. But basically, when you're playing A minor, you would, the second finger, the third finger there, that's playing that note, you move that third finger back down to this C, that note there, and you have your C chord. So that's something you can also incorporate then, mixing in with all your other chords. Try it first using every 4 beats, then try using every 2 beats. Instead of just going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just get used to doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I do that with all the chords. And then you'll find then the other chord, then the only chord left that isn't a bar chord would be your your G chord. Now your G chord can be played with either using your third finger or your little finger. It's up to yourself. People use the little, and sometimes when I play a G, I play like a play with the extra D there. So I play it with 4 fingers, but it's really only 3 fingers, and the 3 fingers for your G chord are your G, B, and D. Them 3 notes, okay? And then the very last note, then you either play with the little finger there, or sorry, the third finger or the little finger, and you've got that, and you get a nice full G sound. So you can incorporate that then mixed in with all your other chords, and just do it every 2 beats, every 4 beats, you know, like I explained earlier. When you're satisfied enough that you can change between these chords quite comfortably, then try every 1 beat. And what I mean by that is, instead of, so you'd be starting off, I'll just pick G, D, C, E minor, okay? G, D, C, E minor, okay? That's going every 2. G, D, C. Try that. G, D, C. And then you're ready to probably move on to the next pair, which I'll make another video of if you're interested. So we'll move on to bar chords, and then other strokes, because we were only using down strokes with this. So I hope that was of help to you, and I'll see you again soon. Okay, thanks. If I can turn this off now.